She thought it was just another late-night ride home from work. But that evening, something happened that would change her perspective on life forever. Stay with me until the end, because this is a story about the unexpected, lessons life throws our way. Meet Sarah, a 33-year-old nurse from Boston. After working a double shift, she was utterly exhausted, ready to crash into bed. It was nearly midnight when she booked a rideshare to get home. Just another night in her busy, demanding life for, so she thought. The car pulled up, and Sarah climbed into the back seat without even looking at the driver. "Long day?" the driver asked casually. Sarah glanced up, giving a faint smile. "You could say that," she replied. She wasn't in the mood for small talk, but something about the driver's voice had a comforting warmth to it. Her name was Diane, a 48-year-old woman who had been driving to support her family after losing her job during the pandemic. She had a cheerful energy, despite the late hour, and somehow, Sarah found herself opening up. "I don't know how you do it," Sarah said, "driving people around all day after everything you've been through." Diane chuckled softly and replied, "Well, life's not about what happens to us, it's about how we choose to respond." Curious, Sarah asked Diane about her life, and what Diane shared next left Sarah stunned. Diane told her story with remarkable grace. She had been a successful event planner, traveling the country and living a fast-paced life. But when the pandemic hit, everything she had worked for disappeared overnight. "At first, I was devastated," Diane admitted. "But then I realized something. I had spent so many years chasing success that I forgot to enjoy the journey. Losing everything forced me to slow down and see the things. I had overlooked my kids' laughter, the joy of cooking a meal together, even just a quiet evening at home." Sarah sat in silence, absorbing every word. She thought about her own life, how she was constantly rushing, constantly stressed. Was she living or just surviving? Before Sarah stepped out of the car, Diane said something that stayed with her. "You're a nurse. You spend your days taking care of others, but don't forget to take care of yourself, too. Life's too short to let it pass you by." As Sarah walked into her apartment, those words echoed in her mind. That night, instead of collapsing into bed, she sat by the window with a cup of tea, watching the city lights and reflecting on what Diane had said. For the first time in years, she felt a strange sense of peace. Sarah realized something important that night. Life isn't about always being productive. It's about finding balance, savoring the small moments, and remembering that even in the busiest seasons, we can choose to pause and breathe. So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly paused? Are you living your life or just letting it rush by? Maybe it's time to slow down, appreciate the present, and find joy in the journey. If this story resonated with you, type "slow down" in the comments and share one way you're choosing to take care of yourself today. Let's remind each other to find beauty in the little moments of life.